Hi, I'm Tyler Lynch, and today I'm going to give a speech on why gun control doesn't work in the United States and why gun control happens in the most regulated cities in America. In 2017 in Chicago, almost 3,600 people were shot. 625 people were killed by guns. 680 total murders happened in the city, and 2,900 wounded people. Of that, you would think that you would have a high or a relatively high arrest rate, right? You'd be wrong in thinking so. Only 109 people were ever arrested in connection with any of the shootings that happened in Chicago or the murders. So it brings me to my point. America does not have a gun problem. America has a people problem. Guns don't wake up in the middle of the night and decide that they're going to go out on a murderous rampage. People do that. People consciously decide that. And then those people decide to say either, I didn't know what I was doing and I was mentally ill, or they get killed in the process, so you never have that chance. Outlawing guns doesn't make it to where murder goes away. It only makes it to where people have to become a little bit more creative with how they go about doing it. Just take Timothy McVeigh, for example, the Oklahoma City bomber. So I suggest to people that before we jump to conclusions and say that it's all a gun's fault, we look at the facts and we look at what happens and who the people are and how the murders happen, rather than just jumping to blame and ban guns. We don't do the same thing with cars or anything else when cars kill people. So my first point in this is that gun crimes happen in the vast majority happen in heavily Democratic controlled areas. Some of the cities in the top 10 for highest gun crimes are St. Louis, Baltimore, New Orleans, Chicago, and Detroit. The largest gap between having a Republican person as a mayor belongs to New Orleans, Louisiana. New Orleans, Louisiana has not had a Republican mayor since 1872. Since 1872 is a pretty long time. They are also number 4 on the gun crime rate per 100,000 in the United States. In Chicago, where guns are heavily regulated and they have the highest gun violence rate in the United States, you have to have a litany of things to be able to buy a gun. First of all, you have to be 21 years old to buy a gun in Chicago. Second of all, you have to have a FOID, which is a firearms owner identification card. Third, you have to have a concealed carry permit. You also have to attain or go to a 16-hour firearm safety class, which includes range time. And then you have to pay for a background check, and you can be denied for any reason. And that background check costs $150. Let's move on to why gun control doesn't work. Gun control doesn't work because the only people that are affected by stricter gun laws are law-abiding citizens. It does not stop criminals. For instance, myself, I can buy any gun I want tomorrow with the exception of something that has a silencer or something that is a fully automatic weapon. The reason I can buy any gun I want is because I have nothing on my background. I've never been arrested, I've never been to jail, I've never been to a mental hospital, I have an honorable discharge from the military, all of which things that if I were to have the exact opposite of would bar me from owning a weapon. Also brings me to the ammo ban. The ammo ban doesn't work because of the last 12 mass shootings, 11 of the 12 people have been over the age of 21, which is what the law has been put to. Take, for instance, something that hits near and dear to me, the Aurora Theater shooting. One of my really good friends was murdered in the movie theater shooting by James Holmes. James Holmes was 25 years old at the time of the shooting. James Holmes had nothing on his background, and James Holmes was actually going to school studying neuroscience, so he was studying brains. James Holmes knew what he was doing, and an ammo law wouldn't have stopped him from doing what he went and did. Also, in the United States, over 40% of our firearms that are obtained each year in crimes are obtained illegally. I don't think that a law will stop you from getting an illegal weapon. Now let's go to the last thing that I have to say. And if you look over here, all my weapons are here. Well, not all of them, just most of them. I'm going to just point out once and for all that an assault rifle is not a real thing. Assault rifle is commonly used in the term AR-15. AR-15, which is this right here, is a military style weapon, as people like to say. But what's the difference in an AR-15 and say this 12 gauge right here? They're both black, they both look scary, but they both do the same thing. They're used to hunt. The AR-15, and people think that AR stands for assault rifle, does not stand for assault rifle. It stands for Armalite 15, which is just a short way of saying AR, or is the long way of saying AR. This weapon will shoot as fast as I want it to shoot as long as I can keep my finger on the trigger. It also has a detachable magazine, which worries people. Does everything that, say, this gun does right here. But since this gun is not black, it's not scary. Detachable magazine again. This weapon, which could arguably be argued as the best weapon ever created, has helped win 2 world wars as a 1911 Kimber. Detachable magazine, high capacity. Glock, same thing. Detachable magazine, high capacity. We could go on and on down the lines. My hunting rifle right here. Detachable magazine, high capacity. But it is not an assault rifle. None of them are assault rifles. Assault rifles have to have one very big thing. They have to have a select fire. This goes from safe to fire. It does not go to fully, or semi-automatic to fire. From safe to semi-automatic, I'm sorry. Has to have a fully automatic to be part of an assault rifle, which Congress outlawed in 1994. The AR-15 is not an assault rifle, and I plead to you to understand that over 63% of the deaths in the United States by guns are because of suicide. And if we were going to outlaw them, don't you think we would rather outlaw the big bullet rather than the little bullet? This is out of the AR, this is out of my hunting rifle. This one seems scarier than this one. I will wrap this up with, don't be a pawn in Congress's chess game and give up your rights as Americans that you were born with, because there are time and time again throughout history it is riddled that once you give up your rights, you will never get those rights back. And I promise you, if you give up your gun rights, you will never get them back. Thanks for watching my video, and I hope I've changed your mind.